Hi there and welcome along to day 5 of the Hero Hockey World League final. It's match 19, it's semi-final time, and England take on New Zealand in the first semi-final of the day. Both sets of fans gathered ahead of this one. There's their two respective sides coming out. New Zealand away to the left-hand side in the all-black kit. England in the red and white. Both sides successfully carving their way through to the semi-finals. England beating Belgium by 1-0, and the Black Sticks getting past Argentina in a sudden death shootout. Sides line up for the national anthems. All the action on the way shortly. Game on. Semi-final, number 1 of the Hero Hockey World League final. England versus New Zealand. Both sides having met each other in the pool stage in Game 3. For them, Game 9 of the tournament. England coming out on top, winning that by 5-1. What will have changed in the last couple of days? For New Zealand, I think the scoreline will be a little bit different. For England, they'll be hoping for more of the same. Let's confirm starting lineups then with you. George Pinner, who had a great game against Belgium, man of the match there, starts in goal. Weir, Jackson, Mantell, Hoare, Gleghorn, Dixon, Captain Middleton, Lewis, Catlin and Fox all start for England. 7 on the bench for Bobby Crutchley to choose from this evening. Squad in good nick, having played 4 and won 4. The only unbeaten side in the tournament. Their opponents this evening are New Zealand. Manchester in goal, with Charles Cousins the captain. Hilton, the hero the other day to get them through to the semi-final stages. Burrows, Shaw, Russell, Tarrant, Punchier, McAleese and Ingles make up the starting 11. 4 games for New Zealand and in the tournament. They've won 2 and lost 2. Colin Batch back there in the stands, the Black Sticks head coach. Had to change a few things tactically ahead of this game to counter that England threat, and Herman Montes de Oca of Argentina is one umpire. Murray Grime of Australia the other. And we're set for our first semi-final of this inaugural tournament. England to get us underway then. Push back from Nick Catlin. England playing from right to left in the white and red strip. 5-1 winners against New Zealand when they last played each other in game 9 of the tournament. This game 19 now, and everything to play for. A place in the final against either the Netherlands or Australia. Both those sides in action straight after this game. Beside me here in the commentary box is Olympic legend Simon Mason. Mace, another great game to look forward to.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mike. Really looking forward to this afternoon. The hockey during the course of today has really ramped up the excitement of a shootout in the first game, and then India scoring in overtime to win here in Delhi. So the excitement's really risen, and I'd hope from a spectator and a purist point of view that this game is just as passionate.
Let's hope so. What will New Zealand have to change if they're not to be on the receiving end of another thumping, losing 5-1 last time? What do they have to do differently tonight?
Well, it's just they've got to do exactly what they did in the first 15 minutes of the game against England last time, which they played their small patterns superbly well. They played 2s and 3s down both midfield channels, and in doing so really caused England some problems. And if they do that again, England are going to have an instinctive defensive running to counter it.
Fox with that ball infield, but it was cut out by Phil Burrows. Interestingly, England's first 3 goals last time round against New Zealand all came from penalty corners.
Yeah, and I actually think the scoreline flattered England a little bit. If you watch the replays of the corners, the shots were not true world class. I don't think Manchester had a particularly good afternoon in goal, and therefore certainly 2 of them on any other day you would have expected him to save. So without that, this game was a lot closer in scoreline, and I think through the passages of play there were, it was close.
Colin Batch was quite honest with me ahead of the game, saying that they were completely outplayed by England in the final 15 minutes of that game last time around.
Yeah, they were, but England really came into their stride, and the goals helped them relax and grow in confidence, and New Zealand didn't really have a huge amount to offer. But I think the goals put England in a position where they were able to relax and play well. So if you take away poor penalty corners, I don't think those spaces will necessarily open up.
Confidence and momentum so important for England as well, carrying that through the tournament, completely unbeaten in the tournament so far. Played 4-1-4, 10 goals in the tournament. Simon Mantell there, yet to be on the score sheet, came close the other day, but they've only conceded 2 goals, and that's clearly a strength of this current England side. They're not conceding a lot of goals.
They're not, and their defensive running and teamwork in defence has been exceptional. Right going back to the game against the Germans, where they had so little going forwards, but they ran their hearts out as a unit. They didn't get dragged out to try and make big individual tackles. They just stayed really tight. And for a group that's relatively inexperienced in certain positions, it was impressive.
Let's see how they get on this evening as Fox thumps one infield into the head of the D. Shaw had it covered. Catlin and Gleghorn the closest to it. They'll line up on a 3-quarter press on the the New Zealand 25. Australia not in action till later this evening against the Netherlands. There's a chance though for New Zealand to take the lead, and Pinner goes in. No foul on Ingles, who was the man in possession of the ball. A clean tackle then to get Pinner off to a good start this evening for England.
Brilliant awareness from Pinner. The through ball was really exceptional, but Pinner's read that and is moving before it's even received there, able to slide straight through Ingles and take the ball.
He was looking just to take it onto the reverse stick for that tomahawk shot, but Pinner, as you said, read it well. Here come New Zealand again. Infield from Kane Russell. That one bobbles off the stick of Alex Shaw. England might want to step here and put a bit of pressure on. Gleghorn goes to cut off the pass infield and gets a touch on that one. Middleton now back into Catlin. Across the 25, looking for their first circle penetration. Strong flat stick tackle from Alex Shaw though.
Well, Gleghorn cleared the space well. He was out on the right flank, and as Catlin drove forward, there was a passing opportunity. Gleghorn kept running to open up the space that Catlin can drive into. Unfortunately, defence didn't move in front of him, and in the end, Catlin running onto a flat stick.
He's just taking a little knock in the head as well over on the far side, Nick Catlin, but he seems okay. Just holding his head, just making sure there wasn't any blood there, but he's all good. Middleton's ball saying took a deflection, the umpires say no. very honest from Murray Graham, the Australian umpire.
Well, and that creates a good rapport with the players, because you're not giving a decision pretending you've seen something. If you're honest, say, look, I can't see everything out here. The game is so quick these days. Nobody's perfect, the players and the officials alike, but in just being honest and saying, didn't see that, I'm giving what I think is the correct decision, it just creates a bit of trust between the officials and the players.
New Zealand looking to go ahead here. Punch here with the ball forward. That was a foot there, was it? No, it came off a stick. Yeah, it was a foot. No advantage played. I think it came up off Henry Weir. We'll have a closer look at this in the slow motion replay shortly. But New Zealand getting the first penalty corner of the evening.
Panchier plays it in. It's just a clever touch under the arm, and it is off Henry Weir, the back of his heel as he leads away. There's nothing he can do for that. He's chasing Yenis across the circle.
There's the stats and penalty corner conversion rate for New Zealand in the tournament so far. 3 from 15. And England, remember, have only conceded 2 goals in the whole tournament in 4 games. Hoping to keep another clean sheet here tonight. On the flip side of the coin, New Zealand looking to get their semi-final off to a flying start here with a goal. Kane Russell, the danger man at the head of the D, has 2 goals. Alongside him, McAleese. It's Russell with the flick. Parried down. It's still not outside the D. Long corner, forced out. Henry Weir was the man to the ball that forced the long corner. They think there was another foot in there, so they're going for a video referral, I think.
You there, Gregory? Yes, Marie, go ahead. We go along the corner, I've got a copy stick. They are saying it's come off the England guy's foot inside the circle. Yeah, well, have a look at English foot. Have a look at English foot inside the circle. Yep, thanks.
Well, England already getting their kit on. I think they think this was a foot as well.
Well, the flick comes in, Pinner reads it brilliantly. It comes down, seems to be no foot there. That's the touch, and looking at the player reaction, there's back heel there.
Is there a back stick just before that, though? Have a look at this.
Yeah, there is an English foot inside the circle. The right decision is a short corner, and New Zealand keep their referral. Okay, no worries.
Well, the corner's given, Mike. Yeah, there is a hint of a back stick there, but it wasn't what umpire Udenhoven was looking for. Weir was dancing on the spot, trying to get out of the way.
So a follow-up penalty corner number 2 for New Zealand. They got the first shot off on target, Pinner saved it. Let's see how corner number 2 turns out. Same setup at the head of the D with Russell and McAleese at the head of it. It's going to be Russell again with a low flick this time. And Fox got to it, hit him on the foot. No complaints coming from the England camp. Corner number 3.
Brave number 1 running. Umpire Murray just checking with Dan Fox that he's all right, because that drilled him on his foot. Went away to safety, but it was flicked hard.
He's just walking that one off. So Russell on target again, this time Dan Fox of Holcombe, the brave man, putting his body on the line. Third time lucky for New Zealand, let's find out. Same routine, follow-up shot. Good reactions, and that's come off the body of Middleton on the line. It wasn't going in, so it's not a stroke, it's another penalty corner.
Yeah, Pinner stands up well. First runner Dan Fox takes a big stick on the ball. Rebound, Russell into Pinner, down onto Middleton's leg, but it's going wide, as you say, Mike.
Fox, Middleton, Weir and Lewis all in the goal alongside George Pinner at the head of the D. Russell and McAleese again. It's their 4th consecutive penalty corner. Can they find a way through this time? A variation and well stepped from Ian Lewis to give England the counter-attack opportunity. Catlin cuts in field now. Long ball forward to Mantell, 2-on-2 at the back. Glencorn just ahead, look at the deflection, it goes wide of the near post. Glencorn down on all 4s off Mantell's ball in, deflected wide.
Well, that's a 4-pass routine from inside your own circle. That pass from Catlin is truly sublime. Mantell sees Gleghorn just wide of the near post. Manchester covered.
Yeah, Manchester came out and tightened the angle there as Mantell threads another one through, this time to Catlin. Again, Gleghorn inside the D. Shaw gets there first, it comes up. No danger there, says the umpire.
Well, that's very clever umpiring, because Catlin would have created the danger by jumping if it had been given. The ball that was lifted over the heads of all the players. So Herman Monstelka making a spot-on call.
Almost kept in by Whiteman there. Very snazzy.
Would have been one of the plays of the day, wouldn't it, Mike, as he's picked it behind his right ear and kept it in. Going all the way back to that defensive corner, Lewis read the routine as if he'd been told. And quite often what the players will do is they'll look at the body language instinctively of the people at the top of the circle. So as Kane Russell came in, he wasn't for a moment looking like he was going to actually flick it. And in doing so, it just means that as a defender you can step more aggressively and intercept, because it's not coming at goal.
Sideline ball inside the England quarter, which Lewis will take. He goes cross-field aerial. That's got some distance and a bit of bounce on it. Comfortably brought down by Whiteman, though. Cutting field from Catlin. England got numbers, or he might want to go all the way. Maybe should have ran that in, as he decided to give the ball into Jackson, who was covered by Kane Russell.
Well, Jackson ran and offered a pass to Catlin, but as he did so, the entire defence shifted, and you're right, Catlin could easily have gone on his own, but tried to link up.
A little touch there, I think, from Whiteman. No, there wasn't. Watched it safely under his stick. So end-to-end stuff, as you'd expect. This semi-final very much alive. No goals in it, but certainly coming to life with both sides creating chances. A lot of aerial ball being thrown from England in this first half. Carson picks up and tries to find Martin and also Condon, who are waiting for it. Now all three of them track back.
Well, they have to track back because Burrows had managed to pick that up deep in his own defensive right-hand corner and drive infield and open up the other side of the pitch.
Edwards driving forward now. Here's a chance on the reverse stick, and great goal! Wow! Tightest of angles from Marcus Child. And he's beaten Pinner on the near post. This has ended up going in off the far post. New Zealand have the lead. It's New Zealand 1, England 0.
All came about because Phil Burrows managed to transfer the ball right to left. Charles ends up with the ball in the circle, and I think that Pinner's anticipating this across goal. His weight's all wrong. That wouldn't normally go into George Pinner's far post. I think he's thinking there's going to be a tip-in front of him, and he's gone for that rather than the shot, and it's undone him straight between his feet.
Yeah, from that angle, seeing this actually gone through the pads of George Pinner. So England trail here, and Jenis there with the goal on 12 minutes. So England trail here to New Zealand. New Zealand going ahead through Marcus Child just moments ago.
Well, Lewis being pressed right into that bottom corner. He's thrown some crossfield aerials, two of them so far this game, which is open channels up for England. It's as Phil Burrows showed, you need to open up all of the pitch in order to create the space.
There was confirmation too of Marcus Child's goal on 12 minutes. A wild swing there from Ingles as he tried to get that one goal bound. Jackson and Middleton now through the heart of the field, and Jackson's ball was intended for Martin. That's commitment, but is it too much? Umpire doesn't like it.
Yeah, Murray Graham certainly doesn't like it. Jackson dived for that. Looked like he jabbed the ball away, but Murray Graham, perceiving that Jackson had put himself in a dangerous position, he has to protect the players and make sure they don't cross that line between bravery and stupidity, going into the ground too much.
England then, what answer do they have to that New Zealand goal? They counter-attack well in these early exchanges. Almost 15 minutes gone. Shaw gathers and feeds Burrows. Burrows cuts in field and back to Shaw. Punchier ahead of him on the left-hand side now, and gaps starting to open up for New Zealand across the 25. Look to punch one in, and here's a chance to make it two! Child shoots wide. This time it's Simon Child with the shot, but hits the side netting.
Great crossfield transfers from New Zealand, right to left initially, and then Punchier opens his wrists. That ball to Child, magnificent. Shot not quite as good. Look at the body shape that Punchier had to get into to get that ball to Child in the first place.
There was the option far post as well. We see it in that slow motion replay. Child furious with himself for not laying it in far post as the keeper was committed near post.
Well, the only thing I'd counter to that, Mike, because I'm not sure he's frustrated with not giving it. I'm frustrated that he'll be frustrated with not smashing it into the top corner. Child from 10 yards, I think, will always back himself.
But to be fair to him, he did hit the top corner at the wrong side of the netting. "15 minutes gone, England 0, New Zealand 1. Marcus Child with the goal that separates the two sides at this stage. There's a look at possession. England almost 60% of the possession, but New Zealand with more circle penetrations in their favour, 4-1. And look at that, more shots too, 5-1. They've just created more shots at this stage. They've also had 4 penalty corners, so deserve to be ahead at this stage of the game. A long way still to go though. McAleese with the restart, takes a deflection, and it'll be a sideline ball.
Yeah, and England have got to get their blind side, help side defensive running right. It looks like New Zealand have identified that they know they can switch the ball across channels. The last 4 or 5 meaningful attacks have all been structured for New Zealand in exactly the same way. And England need to make sure that if the ball, for example, is down their own defensive left wing channel, the right winger is just stepping back a little deeper and a little more in field to protect the opposite midfield space. If they do that, then New Zealand will be limited to where they can go.
It's better from England, out of defence, and Willis now on the left-hand touchline, looks forward to Catlin, intercepted though by Russell. Can't get past Jackson. Just lining up his options, lovely skills from Jackson to take it inside McAleese, and wins the free hit as well on the 25.
Burrows not agreeing with the decision, thinking that Jackson had just asked for the free hit and been given it.
Foot there on the edge of the D, so England will bring it back to the dotted line 5 metres outside the shooting circle. Jackson with Fox to his left, Dixon to his right. Here's Fox with that one, thumped in towards Cousins. Simon Child gets past Willis, but can't keep his stick on the ball. There was a foul in there though, so we'll come back for that.
Yeah, there was nothing malicious about it. Murray Grime not feeling the need to flick a card. We see here though, Simon Child going for absolutely everything. Willis steps across him and there's a tiny bit of contact and he's unable to keep his feet.
You need those. Simon Child working hard out there, coming close, hitting the side netting a couple of minutes ago. His brother Marcus has been on target though. And the New Zealand fans back home will be very happy with the scoreline as it stands at the moment. A long way still to go, a day full of surprises. Belgium played Argentina earlier today, and that finished 1-1 and went to a penalty shootout. And Belgium winning the shootout. And directly after that, Germany, the current world #1 and Olympic champions, losing to the hosts by 5 goals to 4. A last-minute goal from Rupinder Pal, giving the hosts their first win of this tournament against the Olympic champions. And it went mad in here, didn't it, Mace?
It did, and what was even more outstanding is this is a relatively inexperienced India side that have been here, and they were 2-0 down to the Germans inside the first 7 minutes. And pretty much everybody had written that off as this is a no comeback situation. 3-1 then down at half time, and then they just exploded into life in the second half. It was amazing.
Sure, the England side will have been watching that from the sidelines or from the changing rooms at least. and they're not taking anything for granted out here against New Zealand. A semi-final between these two sides, a place in the final against the Netherlands or Australia is what they're playing for. At the moment, it's New Zealand going through to the final.
And as you said, Mike, that record that England have got, although that winning run that they're on, will give them the belief. India's result was definitely about their belief, and England will know that they've played really well. They've been solid, they've been tight, they've been compact, and they've taken their chances when they've been presented to them. They haven't at times created a huge amount, but they've certainly taken it when needed, and they'll take that forward for the next two-thirds of this game.
England, who beat New Zealand in the pool stages, looking to get an equaliser here as they get in around the back. Long corner. Goals for Carson, Gleghorn, Middleton, and 2 for Jackson last time round. England looked to get there first. Was there a foot there inside the D? Harry Martin certainly took the last deflection. And it must have come up off the New Zealand stick, because no protest coming from England and no video referral required. Ash Jackson. Dixon now. There's the deflection chance. Martin popping up in front of Manchester. It was close. England almost getting one back.
Manchester reading it again, the passage of the ball, he's gone down, all his body weight's in the right place. He read the one from Gleghorn earlier well, that might have sneaked in, but he was there.
England pushing high again into that three-quarter press. Gleghorn gets a sniff of it and fancies it. Fox gets a little touch on that. Jenas with the restart. Willis with the restart. Is Catlin going to get to that first? No, McAleese does. New Zealand certainly controlling this first half. Russell now. Another diagonal ball in that finds Charles. Jackson's done well this tournament, tracking back from the midfield. We've seen him there doing some strong defensive work now as he releases Mantell. Gleghorn ahead of him. Mantell cuts infield, then peels back out. Bobbles one in. It was looking for Gleghorn. Lifted it over the first 2 sticks of the defence, but couldn't get a touch on it here.
Well, Mantell's played with more confidence this week than I've seen him play with for a long, long time. He's really been unafraid to take on the players in front of him, drive, eliminate, and then link up with his teammates. It's not a selfish running. He's popping up into empty spaces and then seeing the guys in front of him and just trying to thread little balls into the circle.
What feeds a player's confidence out there? What sort of things do they rely on to be at the best of their game?
Well, the best of their game over time is about consistently playing well and making few mistakes, doing the simple things brilliantly.
Gleghorn doing just that. Chance here, deflection goal! England back in it! Wonderful work round the back from Gleghorn, and Martin gets the final touch. It's England 1, New Zealand 1.
And the simplest of goals, it's a lovely lead out from Gleghorn. He picks it on the reverse and drives in down the baseline. Harry Martin moves into the goalkeeper's path, over the top of Manchester. Keeper unable to do anything at all. Look at the commitment to go into that difficult, dangerous area.
There's a Harry Martin sandwich in there between Russell and Manchester, but Martin snatches one back for England on 23 minutes.
Haig there unhappy with Dixon knocking the ball away, but the whistle hadn't actually gone before he passed it.
Slapped in, looking for a deflection, goal bound. There was a touch off an English foot. I think it's going to be a free hit on the edge of the D.
I wouldn't surprise me if Haig drops this out behind him. His Cousins staying 5 yards behind it. This could easily get dropped and slapped in.
England holding their line and the ball lifted towards Lewis from Cousins.
Well, the ball that was passed back to Covens was a stinker. It was a little reverse stick flick that was a nasty 6-inch bobble off the turf. There's nothing he could do with it without taking a stop touch to start with. And in doing so, the England defence could close it down.
Lewis just drops his shoulder and changes the angle. Mantell gathers from above shoulder height, then goes baseline, has it jabbed away from him by Shaw. Keen to take it. confidently going forward again, wins the free hit. That's what England have done well this week. Few words being exchanged there between Catlin and Cousins.
Kane Russell stepping out from the middle of defence to deflect the ball away to his team. Hilton was then on the overlap down the side, and if England let the little patterns go, they're going to be in trouble because they're stretched at the back.
Good short passes from New Zealand, well executed coming down that right flank. Burrows with possession again now. I'll leave that one for short. Cousins just with the leading run infield. And possession again.
We're quite happily back to Shaw, and looking behind him, Manchester's quite happy to come up and police right round the edge of his circle when the ball's nowhere near him. Pinner, on the other hand, really holding his goal line.
Advantage played from the umpire, despite Lewis losing his stick there. Cleghorn again looking to get that early ball in. We saw him penetrate the D last time around to set up that Harry Martin goal. That's Cousins who's gone down, took it in the foot.
Yeah, as Cleghorn drove, he smashed that. All his body weight was going through the hit, and Cousins has just caught him square on the instep of that left foot. That's gonna sting.
Surprised there's not more broken foot bones in the game. Not a very well padded area for the players. Shin guards these days, mouth guard essential. As you end up losing a row of your front teeth, like Sevi Van Ast, the Dutch player who's here in the tournament.
Yeah, and there's been a huge movement after that injury for all the players to recommend for mouth guards. They're on the ball, encouraging the players around him to start moving and giving him some options. Felt that everything had got a little bit compact and closed down. As soon as you turn possession over, what you want is players to lead away from you laterally, just so that you can play the ball to space and get it away from danger. You don't want to go straight back down the same channel.
Less than 9 minutes to play in the first half. It's England 1, New Zealand 1. New Zealand going ahead on 12 minutes through Marcus Child. England getting back into it on 23 minutes, courtesy of a Harry Martin goal. There's a chance for Carson on the baseline. He'll have a shot from there. Not the best option. He had Brogdon on the far post, and the shot wasn't even that great.
Well, I'm not sure it's the right option in the first instance, then the execution is just dreadful. Carson's pulled around that, hit it with the heel of his stick, and that's a good metre wide of the near post.
Look there at possession, England dominating that. Circle penetrations while New Zealand are ahead 7-5. There's Mrs. Fox and also Dan Fox's auntie over there being entertained by the locals who have come along to support England. India having won their game just before this versus Olympic champions Germany. Therefore, India will play for 5th and 6th against Belgium, who also won today, versus Argentina. So Argentina versus Germany for the wooden spoon. These sides playing for a place in the final, the first ever final of the Hero Hockey World League. Will England be there? Here's a chance! Oh, scuffed over the bar. That hockey slap shot from Tom Carson, who scored 3 in the tournament. He scuffed this one wide too.
He did. It's a good move in from Dixon. He pulls it under his arm. Little touch back from Cousins. And Carson, who scored against Belgium, albeit disallowed in the end, with exactly the same skill, misses it hideously.
Pitching wedge. Yeah, change of club for Carson, I think. Get back on the 1 iron.
I'll give him credit, I think it was exactly the right choice of shot. He didn't have time to stop and swing.
Ball taken above the head of McAleese. Lewis will step to that, but he's beaten by Jenis. Jackson back again to do that cover tackle.
Yeah, unusual for Lewis to be beaten on line to goal. Jackson doing the cover running, but he'd actually overrun it in the first instance.
Here's that missed chance again from Carson. Just a little bobble just in front of him we've spotted. Just there.
Yeah, the ball actually, the bounce increases, doesn't it?
Still, player of his calibre, you'd expect to convert from there.
Now, the difficulty is he's picked the line of the ball up and the bounce of it. Cousins' touch just forces it down into the turf a little bit more and it skips in front of him. So he's gone for the open blade, and the stick's only 50 millimetres, 2 inches wide. So a little bobble, which takes it an extra ½ inch higher, does mean that contact isn't going to be clean.
Tom Carson of Reading, who's scored 3 times in the tournament so far, a goal against Germany, a goal against New Zealand when they played in the pool stages, and also a goal in Belgium's match as well when they played them. That all-important goal that saw England through to this stage of the tournament. England beating Belgium by that 1-0 in the quarter-finals. New Zealand here courtesy of the shootout, a shootout which they won against Argentina a couple of days ago. Right to the wire, sudden death. So they'll certainly have some momentum and some confidence from that game. How important is that, Mace, to a side who haven't been doing particularly well in the tournament but are just starting to find a bit more form now for New Zealand?
Yeah, well, it just gives you a tiny little bit of belief. It means that when you run for something, you run a fraction harder. You create a little bit more space because you've moved earlier. You believe your passes are going to get there. And that really is so important because it's those tiny fractions that make the difference in key areas.
Solid defending from Lewis at the heart of the England defence to keep New Zealand from gaining too much more confidence. A big sigh there from Bobby Crutchley, the England head coach. Burrows now onto the baseline. This is danger again. Couldn't get anyone on the end of it here, the Black Sticks. It was Marcus Child, the goal scorer, who was closest to it.
And Burrows has started in the heart of the circle, led out to the flanks to create some space for the pass. It was a great floated ball through to him, and then a clever little flick off the wrist just to lift the ball 15-20 centimetres in the air. Makes it difficult for a defender to get a clean touch, but the forwards leading into it with an upright stick can play through the line of the ball and get a better shot on target.
Oh dear, missed trap at the back there from Hall that lets in Jenis. And again, it needed a cover tackle from Lewis, who's having another exceptional defensive game tonight for England.
He's been monumental all week. His lines to read the passes are just almost telepathic at times. Knows exactly what's going to be coming at him. And those times when he hasn't got the ball isn't easy to intercept. He's making a really big presence on the immediate line to goal.
Great vision from Ashley Jackson to throw one in there to Catlin. Catlin was looking for Mantell. There's the defence that we're talking about after that initial mistake from Michael Hoare there. Lewis at full stretch on the reverse stick to save his blushes, his teammates' blushes.
Exceptional commitment, because if you go in there, quite often that's where you get hit and injured. You're going flat out at the ball, and if you're missing it, then because of the energy that's going through the passage of play, you can quite often twist something or get hit on the way down.
Talking of hits, Simon Mantell's taken a hit here. It's come off the stick, gone down on his hand, but he's okay.
I wasn't sure it was his hand that had hurt, it was obviously what he was holding, but he managed to land with his foot on the head of his stick as he jumped as well.
Middleton now spreads it wide. Willers returns the favour. Lewis forward. And down the line and inside to Mantell on the turn. Can he drive into the D? Yes, he can. Gets his eyes up. Far post is open. Catlin's there. And on the follow-up, Martin was there again. Penalty corner, is it? No, stick cover from Mantell. Stick contact. So New Zealand ball.
Yes, it was messy on that baseline. Mantell driving in down, gets his eyes up, lovely little look. Cousins picks it, Burrows picks it even, and then it's potentially off the back of Simon Mantell's stick.
Middleton making the lead run forward, or couldn't quite find him.
New Zealand just need to keep handling the ball well through midfield. In the last pool game they were great for the first 15-20 and then they fell away, and in the second half didn't handle the ball particularly well at all and gave England lots of turnover possession. And now as they tick down to half-time, sorry, they're going to need to just make sure they hold on to it a little bit, otherwise they're going to give England some easy opportunities.
Mistrap there from Catlin will give Puncheer the opportunity to regain possession for New Zealand, possibly chance for one more attack. No penalty corners this evening for England, 4 for New Zealand. The opening goal eventually coming in open play from Marcus Child after 12 minutes. Harry Martin getting on the end of a Mark Leghorn cross on 23 minutes to level things up. Oh, where was that going from Hawke? Long corner.
He obviously saw a pass that we didn't see, Mike. Hilton had picked it up for New Zealand down the right-hand side, but it was a blind pass into the head of the England circle.
Release to Burrows. Burrows route one ball towards the D, and Ingles, who was waiting there. It was lifted in though, too high for the umpire's liking. And a good comeback for Bobby Croxley's side in this game, who trailed. Quite exposed in those early 15-20 minutes of this game where New Zealand dominated possession, dominated circle penetrations, but England edged their way back into this game.
Yeah, they have built their way back into it, Mike, you're absolutely right, and they haven't stopped playing their patterns, they haven't gone back to a different plan, they've been confident in what they've been delivering this week, and that's what they've fallen back to, and it's ground them back into it. It's not been pretty at times, but it has been effective.
There goes the hoot of half-time. 2 goals in the first half, 1 apiece. It's England 1, New Zealand 1. Both sides will take a short 10-minute break. You've got time to put the kettle on too. Feel free to stick around. We've got some half-time highlights coming your way as well. If you missed any of the goals, Harry Martin for England on 23 minutes, equalising after Marcus Child, put New Zealand ahead on 12 minutes. Harry Martin will gather the troops back in the dressing room. Halfway through this semi-final then between England and New Zealand. What lies in store in the second half? Don't go too far away from your TV screens or your computer screens. Concluding action of England, New Zealand on the way after this short break. They're wrapped up warm. Go and get yourselves a cup of tea, warm up. We'll see you after half-time. It's England 1, New Zealand 1. Welcome back to the Major Dhyan Chand Stadium in New Delhi. It's 1-1 at half-time in the first semi-final. England 1, New Zealand 1. Marcus Child putting New Zealand ahead. Harry Martin cancelling that out on 23 minutes. If you are just joining us, let's bring you up to speed with where we are at half-time. Reverse stick shot there, going right through the middle of the legs of George Pinner, the England goalkeeper. That reverse stick shot, that tomahawk shot, enough to put New Zealand ahead on 12 minutes. They came close again here. Marcus's brother Simon shooting into the side netting. England then eventually clawing their way back on 23 minutes. Gleghorn in around the back. And a well-taken chance there by Harry Martin, 100% committed to this one, sliding in and getting the reverse stick deflection there between Russell and Manchester. Carson with the miss of the half. Tom Carson, who could have put England ahead going in at half-time, but as things stand, it's England 1, New Zealand 1. 5 shots apiece, circle penetrations fairly even, with New Zealand just up 8-7. England took control of possession late on in that first half, but New Zealand there, 0 from 4 penalty corners earned, all of those coming on in the early part of the first half. So 1-1. Few Union Jacks out there. There's Nick Haig's mum to the middle of your picture there. Shirley Haig, former Olympian from 1984. Lady in the middle there with a bob haircut. Also a former assistant coach of the Black Sticks women's team. They finished 6th in LA back in 1984. Now watching her son Nick in action. Nick, who wears number 4 for the Black Sticks. I'll have to go away and do my research on those two. Great support as we await both sides to come out. About 2.5 minutes until the start of the second half. We've got Colin Batch pitch side with Debayan Sen. Let's see what he has to say.
Colin, you got the lead, but the other team has come back into it. What have you told your team for the second half?
Well, yeah, it's a very tight game. Obviously, we need to lift a little bit. I don't think we're at our level that we played against Argentina. We've got to get there. Better connections going forward for sure. Defensively, we're doing okay, but we know that's the attacking strength of England's one of their positives, so we need to counter that in the second half.
And you got 3 penalty corner opportunities, couldn't convert. That is one thing you'll look to do better if you get those.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it'd be nice to score on the next one, that's for sure.
Well, all the best for the second half.
Thank you.
Colin Batch, the New Zealand head coach. Got great temperament, very calm, very relaxed. Knows he can get more out of his side. New Zealand 1, England 1 at half-time. Let's see what the England coach has to say. Bobby Crutchley.
Bobby, a 100% record for your team, and you'll be quite pleased with the way they fought back in this one as well.
Yeah, reasonably pleased. Yeah, I think it's a very tight game. I think New Zealand are playing well, and what we've got to do is put them under some more pressure. But we started to show signs of some better passing, which created some better chances later on in that half. But we need to make sure we haven't got the sloppiness in defence we had at the start.
Well, George Pinner showing today that he is human after all, but an outstanding effort in defence from Lewis.
Yeah, Ian's played really well in the whole tournament, but I think there's a team who was sloppier at the start, and that was really frustrating because we haven't seen that before. But we just started to sort ourselves out, and hopefully the second half will be better.
Just a quick answer from you. When it comes to these stages, how much of a penalty or a shootout rather is something that you anticipate as coach?
Well, we're not thinking about that at the moment. We start thinking about that too early, not ready. Maybe if there's about 5 seconds on the clock and it's still a draw, I'll start thinking about it. Until then, I want to win it in 70 minutes.
Well, all the best for the second half.
Thank you.
Good positive response from Bobby Crutchley and the England camp. Pinner, who's only conceded his 3rd goal of the tournament. England versus New Zealand. Semi-final number 1 with semi-final number 2, the Netherlands and Australia concluding day 5 play. Australia, who beat England in the Ashes, remember, and they won the 2nd ODI today as well. Amazing last wicket stand in that. Won't get into that.
Just let him reset it.
Not watching any more cricket. Let's watch some hockey. So it's Child with the restart for the Black Sticks. Second half action underway here in New Delhi. Semi-final number 1 between England and New Zealand. It's 1-1 as we join things here. Marcus Child putting New Zealand ahead on 12 minutes before Harry Martin got one back for England on 23 minutes. Leghorn with the assist there around the back and teeing up Martin. Marcus Child's shot, well taken reverse stick effort that found its way through the legs of George Pinner. Also, I hear, known as Mason Alley. Beside me, Simon Mason. Explain.
Brilliant that I played 12 years internationally, and all we get is when a ball goes between the feet of an English goalkeeper. That is Mason Alley. Delighted to be renowned for my impact in international hockey.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Brothers, who's been active on Twitter, I think, to give you that nickname towards the latter end of your illustrious career. We won't dwell on it too much, Mace, but let's hope that Pinner doesn't let another one through Mason Alley, then we don't have to say it again. Shaw at the back for New Zealand, into the midfield with Jenas. New Zealand looking to build on that good start in the first half, where they bossed possession for the first 15-20 minutes, earned 4 penalty corners, unable to score from any of those chances. Eventually did go ahead through Marcus Child's goal, but they need to pick up where they left off in those early stages of that first half.
They do. It was interesting listening to Colin Batch. He was so composed, and he chooses to sit up in the stand, and I think depending on the side that you've got, if they motivate themselves really well, it's actually a really good place for the coach to sit, because he can distance himself from the play a little bit and make sure that his analysis isn't tempered by any kind of emotion. He is very calm, but he does come down. It has been seen over international tournaments if he really feels he needs to, but he trusts the guys down supporting him on his bench, so it's a real team management effort for New Zealand.
I presume the likes of Burrows and Cousins as well, who have a wealth of experience for the Black Sticks, are the key players that they look to go to on the field as that reverse stick shot goes nowhere near the target from Jenas.
Yeah, they will, and players of that stature will be controlling pretty much every line on the field, so Colin Batch will give them a really simple message to deliver, but it'll be up to them and some of the other key players to really wind themselves up at the right time, change the tempo, come off the gas when they need to, and then step back on it, because if you stay at the same pace all the game, you're easy to read.
Fox reading that one well to take it out for a sideline ball. Here is Jenas, who was off target a moment ago, wins the free hit against Michael Hawke. All players being told to retreat 5 metres. Burrows over the ball now, one of those leaders for Black Sticks, one of the danger players to look out for as he tries to get another cross in. Burrows with over 300 caps now for his country. Heck of an achievement. Here's Child. Oh dear. He's got his shirt colours mixed up there, kicking the ball straight back to England. Good turn of pace here from Tom Carson, who, remember, in the first half missed that open goal. Will that prove costly as Carson forces the foul? Umpire doesn't like it.
Well, and that's Murray Grimes having a quiet word with Simon Child, knowing the player well, just suggesting that his tackle was right on the limit of acceptable. Good that the umpires just make players aware of what they're thinking and where they are, because then there's no surprises up their sleeves if cards start to get drawn.
Yeah, and it gives us a good indication that the green card is ready to come out for the next filthy tackle. Yeah, well, there we go. Confirmation of that. The two umpires, if you can hear that, talking to each other, saying that's it. Carson leaving his body in. He was almost half expecting the green card to come in there, I think.
Yeah, he was. He got in for a tackle a little bit aggressively, and in doing so had got really low, and Blair Tarrant then coming over the top of him. Tom Carson using his reach rather than his footwork to try and effect a tackle.
England looking to make some substitutions up front. Leghorn and Mantell waiting in the wings. There's a good ball forward, just out of the reach of Ingles, who was being man-marked by Fox. That's Leghorn on, Carson off.
And the creation of space from Ingles, world class. He led infield on, I think some coaches call it a J run. He's run infield and then led back in a curve back out to the flank. You pull the defender away from the space you want to play the ball into, and then can accelerate. And because the defender's behind you, it means you can pick and roll towards goal all in one movement.
Lewis, who's had a strong first half for England, Sets up this play and attack. Mantell now driving forward. Dixon thinks about letting it go. That delayed pass in, eventually picked by Burrows. Child all the way back there, feeds Burrows. Needs to get up the field a little bit. New Zealand's highest players only on the halfway line as Hilton comes on for Jenas. Burrows looks like he's coming off for a breather as well. Edwards, Bartholomew and McAleese also ready and raring to go. And Shaw again been at the heart of the New Zealand defence. New Zealand ranked 7th in the world against England, who are currently ranked 4th. Jigging for position, world ranking points up for grabs. The final rankings for the World Cup yet to be decided. This could definitely have an impact on that. Catlin's ball in is high and dangerous. Shot had to come in from inside the D, that coming from outside it.
Yeah, Catlin's just reached for this. It's a good pass from Dixon, but the ball's just rolled away from him. You can see he stretches just a fraction. That opens up the face of the stick and means that the lift as you reach for it, the lifted pass is delivered. Certainly not what Catlin intended.
Surprised that England haven't got more penalty corners in this game so far?
Well, they haven't really had much possession going into the circle anyway. Not real possession. They've driven into dangerous areas. The Gleghorn run that set up the goal and then the second miss from Carson, probably the only 2 or 3 you can really remember. They need to take the ball out to the flanks and then drive into dangerous areas again and again if they're going to really come away with anything and create those corners.
Gleghorn putting pressure on Russell there. There's the sideline ball. 2 balls on the pitch though, so we'll clear one. That aerial ball down the throat of Panchir. Fox just popping it back onto his foot. Sensible play to get the free hit on the 25.
Well, in England a bit lucky. Gleghorn, that's a rush of blood to the head, a pass like that. That's gone across the entire midfield line, but was never long enough. Panchir should have taken it down, and if he had, New Zealand would have been away down a channel that's the opposite side of the pitch to where England were wanting to play. Great
take from Mantell there in the meantime between the legs. That ball lifted in from Henry Weir. He goes crossfield now, or forward. This is Fox, Jackson. Again, just looking for Gleghorn on that baseline run. England just starting to make a bit more movement up front, clearing those spaces. Barry Middleton making the space there for Gleghorn on that occasion.
Yeah, what we haven't seen from England is the midfield triangle that's been so effective between Jackson, Middleton and Catlin. That's really created problems for opposition, and when that starts to create a problem, the opposition get tighter around that core group of players and it opens up space for other people. So far there hasn't been that consistent linkage between them over the course of a period of time.
There's some pressure there and England have had the ball pinched away from them here. Good recovery from Weir after he had it snatched away from him by Blair Hilton. Hilton, who was the hero the other night, getting that winning penalty in the penalty shootout in... Oh, here it is. Penalty corner's been given in the meantime. We'll get back and tell you how that came about. Umpire's just apologising, actually. He made the wrong decision. So, sorry, didn't really focus on that slow-motion replay for you, but England thought they'd conceded a penalty corner. Umpires communicating. England have the ball, and rightly so, but not for long, as Lewis aerials his back towards Panchir. And we'll have a sideline ball for England. Full press from New Zealand.
Yeah, Jacob Smith leading it. As soon as he mistracked that, there was a response out to the sideline. New Zealand very much so stepping into that high court press.
Well, Cousins a little bit hard done by, and again, I've got to go with him on this one. He was the man underneath the ball. He brought it down, but England coming forward, Harry Martin under the ball, was given the advantage.
Yeah, it's one of those rules that's really difficult for the umpires to blow consistently, because you can't see distances from certain angles and you have to rely on your support colleague. But I have to say, sometimes I don't get it. I think there needs to be some work done on that across the whole hockey community, not just the umpires, to create a resource where we can recognise exactly the signs and signals umpires are looking for.
Another example there with Shaw and Mantell as they went toe-to-toe. I'd like to just see them scrap it out there.
Which is absolutely fine at this level with players who know what they're doing, but if they then let that go in all areas of the game, you're going to get 2 4th 11 guys smashing each other in the head.
After a couple of beers at half-time. Here's another look at Ashley Jackson going to ground. face first into the turf. Scored 2 against New Zealand last time round in game 9. The pool stage, a little deflection comes in there from Gleghorn and goes wide. He'll go for a sideline ball. Gleghorn's had a good game so far, been impressed with him. Set up the first goal for Harry Martin and active up front there for England in this one.
Yeah, been really busy, and they're going to ground, leading away from Alex Shaw, which is no mean feat given Alex Shaw's reach. He's a big lad. Lewis there, what you saw in shot was he actually had to put his hand up as that ball came down from such height because the floodlights were right in his face.
I actually thought he was going to catch it. All sorts going on out there.
Yeah, and again, a great bit of communication from Murray Graham. As the free hit was given, Simon Mantell reacted immediately and ran away, and in doing so, dragged the ball with his foot. New Zealand appealing that he'd done it deliberately and should warrant a card. Murray Graham knew exactly which way Mantell was looking and realised it was a complete mistake and was quite happy to give New Zealand the benefit of his advice.
Here's a replay. Lewis with the ball there. There was Mantell. There it was. Sort of thing they teach you at Millfield.
Cheating.
Well, Mantell did try and claim a goal earlier in the tournament as well when he set up Tom Carson for a goal, when he played it down from his body. His dad, a former hockey coach at Millfield School. Breeds cheats.
Mr. and Mrs. Mantell are out here for the first time in India watching their son play, and they'll be delighted that they're getting the opportunity to watch him in a semi-final.
Yeah, medals up for grabs here as England try and make it through to the semi-finals. Lewis is working hard in the heart of defence. And there is that defence that's been so strong. Barry Middleton back doing his part. England have only conceded 3 goals in the tournament so far. Harry Martin on the score sheet today for England, scoring on 23 minutes. It was again an aerial ball, fantastic. Martin underneath it with Willers in support in the overlapping run. Middleton over on this far side. Jackson now. This is Whiteman. Made his debut in game 1 against India. Missed trap from Middleton, goes across the baseline. New Zealand with the restart.
And Lewis and Hoare are developing a really effective partnership coming out the back for England. They've got a great range of passes. Lewis quite happy to take on the long crash ball or the overhead. Michael Hoare happier with the smaller triangles, but they can mix it up, which makes it unpredictable for an attacking press against them.
Middleton with a chance there, fouled, surely was he? Advantage played as Brogdon goes forward to earn the penalty corner, and the advantage played! Well, New Zealand didn't react, they were waiting for the whistle. Brogdon carried on, Gleghorn strong, and England have the lead. It's England 2, New Zealand 1.
And this is one of the best bits of umpiring you will see in this whole competition. Advantage, 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 finish. Murray Graham could have blown that at any point with 3 plays to go, and in the end he recognised what was going on, gave Gleghorn the finishing chance. Great all-round from both players and officials alike.
That's how we want to see the game being played, fast-flowing, and England taking the lead on 49 minutes. Mark Gleghorn. This is where we could see a shift in momentum. New Zealand have to change gear here to get back into this game. Good scrap up front now from Simon Child. Hit the side netting in the first half. His brother scored in the first half. England strong in defence again. There at the heart of it was Michael Hoare, low and flat stick this time.
Yeah, and just before that goal was scored, I was going to say that the game was just getting a little bit flat. The teams, when you come away from it, that's fortunate. It's a dreadful pass across the head of the circle.
And they could get punished here, England, for that mistake. Jenas onto the reverse stick. Lewis tracking him back. There's the ball back towards the P spot. Ingles gathers it and again finds a way through. Jackson this time is there. It's gone onto the foot of Condon by the looks of it. And New Zealand will have the free hit outside the D. England back, all 11 inside the 25. Tarrant now. Goes Tomahawk cross. Lewis taps out for a long corner. Tarrant again, reverse stick in. Oh dear, took a little bobble. off Willers. Sideline ball, New Zealand. Burrows over to take it.
Oh, Willers will be delighted that only took at the faintest of edges. It skipped just in front of him. And England scrambling defence.
Great appetite from Dixon there to put the pressure on Child. And also again, Willers low into that one. No way through for New Zealand. Might have to change the angle here. Burrows looking for an avenue. Ingles. Lewis has to watch his feet. A little training game down there in the top left-hand corner as we look at the game. Australia's attacking right-hand flank with Burrows again on the dash line. Must move 5. It has done now. Can come into the D. A scuff pass in though as Lewis eventually puts it onto a foot and England can take a deep breath.
And every now and again when you get into one of those tight contests, actually rather than trying to get the ball clear, you just want to get your feet round, take the ball onto the back foot so it's in a strong position and wait and try and draw a foul. If you force it out or try to, like Lewis did, quite often you turn over possession in an area that you're not defending.
Maybe Crutchley doing the Crutchley dance there to celebrate. I think he's been picking up a few moves out here in India. Good head movement, good arm movement. England up, 2-1. Both sides with their video referral, if they need it. Martin, scorer of one of those goals, gets the cross in, it goes into the back of the goal. From that angle, no one getting a deflection on it though. Carson was waiting in the middle. Condon was there as well, but what about this for an angle to even see the ball end up in the back of the goal? Don't see that too often.
Manchester had to be really careful because it wouldn't take a lot for that to come off a post, back into his pads and into the goal mouth for an own goal.
Ball forward, touched out by Lewis. On the 25 then, Punchier. New Zealand looking for an equaliser, jabbed away by Henry Weir. Wimbledon, right in the face here of Ingles. Ingles tries to drive by, thinks about the big wind-up. Can he get the ball in? Yes, he can. There was a foul in there just beforehand, which put Ingles off balance.
Yeah, Weir jabbing away from a really poor angle, but his hand was on the back of Ingles.
Good aggressive tackle again from Martin of Beeston, just 21 years of age. Scored England's equaliser here before Mark Leghorn put England ahead on 49 minutes. Jackson this time concedes the free hit. Route 1 ball, there's a deflection chance! Well, he got through the first line of England defence and Ingles on the far post had the chance to deflect this goal bound. He just got it too thick and couldn't steer it in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a huge touch from Ingles' right foot. To get it back that far across your body, he's gone at it with real energy, and in doing so, he's got it nowhere near goal.
Bartholomew with an incredibly strong defensive tackle, but unfortunately the aerial forward was a bit of a hopeful pass.
As was the ball from Lewis, Middleton was running out to that side, but the ball was 1.5 meters off the ground, almost impossible to take with Middleton's line of run. What we might see now, though, Mike, is this game open up a little bit. It got very compact in the first 15 minutes with both sides kind of waiting for the opponent to make a mistake to play off. But now with the game opening up, England with that slender lead, New Zealand have to step out just an extra couple of metres, a bit more aggression, a bit more assertive, and that will give England a space to counter-attack into that we haven't seen since the early stage of the first half.
And as for New Zealand, what do they have to do differently? What do they have to do now to get back into this game?
If we look at what they did well early on, they transferred the ball across the pitch through midfield channels, particularly from right to left. England didn't track back on the blind side and that left spaces. New Zealand needs to try that again, but what they also need to try is just get some overlap on players from their back line stepping through into midfield to create some a little bit more space and a little bit more energy going forwards.
Yeah, they're still attacking fairly deep. By that I mean they've got 4 or 5 players hanging back. They're not pushing numbers forward at this stage, New Zealand. They haven't gone whole hog at this yet. Maybe with 10 minutes to go, that's the sort of time they'll be lining up, sending in the light brigade.
You'd have thought so, and that's the sort of run from Kane Russell, exactly that. He's run forward, delivered it to Hilton, and then carried on. And in doing so creates an extra man up front, so there's a bit of space to eliminate. And if you can get an elimination one-on-one and drive with your eyes up, then you're going to create the overloads that cause problems for your opposition.
That's a long corner. Last touch coming up off an England stick. Reverse stick cross comes in from Panchir. No one inside the D for the Black Sticks. They're certainly going to achieve their goal, which was to finish inside the top 4. They were targeting a top 6 finish here, and Panchir, his cross coming in, no one on the end of it. Fox and Willers and Lewis all linking up well for England in this second half. Here's Dixon now, who scored 2 goals earlier on in the tournament, both versus India when he was man of the match. Tracking back now, Lewis again gets another jab on it. He's having a great game.
That man must have had probably more touches than any player on this pitch at the moment. It's been a rock, a wall in the middle of that England defence that nothing's really gone through all round.
Yeah, Bobby Crutchley identified him at half-time as being one of the key players in this England side. Certainly in this game, certainly in this tournament.
And Middleton now at the heart of that English defence has got to make a decision and make a call to the players to step out.
It just seems every time New Zealand break like that, England are the quickest to respond. 3 players to that ball. They're stepping forward to the ball and taking control, and even if they are just bashing it off the other end of the pitch, they're relieving a little bit of pressure there.
They are relieving pressure, but I think they've been fortunate in the last passage of play, because it's been New Zealand's sloppiness, the lack of precision in their touches, that means that England have won possession back. On a different day, New Zealand are getting into dangerous areas, and they would probably have taken some of those opportunities at least. England are a little fortunate right now and just need to tighten up.
As far as New Zealand go, they started off the tournament very slowly. They lost 6-1 to the defending Olympic champions Germany before winning against hosts India by 3-1. They then lost their pool game to England by 5-1, but really found their stride against Argentina in the quarter-final. Finished 1-1 in regulation time, but won it 4-3 in the shootout. Looking to get one back here against England. They trail by 2-1. Another collision in the midfield, this time involving Middleton and Russell. Let's have another look at it.
Well, Kane Russell stepped forward to try and make a tackle. Middleton's checked inside him. Russell unable to stop his momentum, and Middleton not happy, feeling that he'd just been taken out reasonably cynically.
Well, this will be cause for concern for New Zealand. Penalty corner expert, Kane Russell.
It's okay.
Looks like he's going to hobble off. Well, that's not good news. Hopefully he'll be back. He'll just shake that one off. It seems to be getting better the more he walks it off, but the physio will have a closer look at that, and hopefully we'll see Kane Russell emerge for the remainder of the second half. There's Mrs. Haig again in the middle of your picture, alongside her some new friends from India. This first ever Hero Hockey World League. Will New Zealand be in the final, or will it be England? At the moment it's England, and they'll face either the Netherlands or Australia, who play in the second semi-final directly after this.
And that's a green card picked up by Inglis, and you have to think that that's been compounded by Middleton, with a tackle on Middleton from Russell, because it was similar.
New Zealand down to 10 players. For the next 2 minutes, there's a foul which Murray Grime calls back. Confirmation of that green card for Hugo Ingles. Wearing a different top to everyone else, isn't he? It's a bit chilly out there. He's got the long sleeves on, the rest of the guys in their sleeveless tops, as that ball's just dumped off by Charles. Panchir drives forward now. Here's a chance over the 25 for the Black Sticks to level one there. Oh, mistake at the back from Fox.
And England immediately going to umpire Herman Montes de Oca, because he blew his whistle and then allowed play to go on. The ball didn't seem to be checked. The free hit indeed didn't even seem to be a free hit, but the whistle had definitely gone during that passage of play somewhere.
Well, they've got the video referral, they can use it if they want, England. No doubt about the skill from Punchier, who set up this attack.
Yeah, that was all absolutely fine. Delivering circle, Fox gets his balance wrong and it hits his foot. But it's way before this, it's in the passage of play before Punchier starts to carry it forwards.
Double foot, in fact, there. There's a foot at the head of the D from Hoare just there, and a second from Fox there. You take your pick. It's penalty corner, but remember, New Zealand's penalty corner expert isn't on the pitch. He's gone down. Kane Russell's off. So Bartholomew and McAleese line up. 3 from 19 in the tournament for New Zealand. None from 4 so far in this game. Bartholomew steps up, low flick, and the follow-up, it goes in! The rebound falls to Jenis, and New Zealand have an equaliser. The injector Jenis reacting first, and New Zealand level here. It's England 2, New Zealand 2.
And Jenis doing exactly what a rebound an injector should do, following the shot in. Shots down the middle, relatively poor, but Jenis follows it, watches the ball, and then gets a full bat on it, unlike Carson earlier on in the game. He takes the bouncing ball well, full shaft of his stick over the top of the defence.
New Zealand back on track. There we go, confirmation of Jenis's goal on 60 minutes. Well, edge of your seat stuff, this, as you'd expect. It's going to go to the wire, as has every single game today here on day 5. Belgium and Argentina going to a shootout. India defeating Olympic champions Germany in the last seconds of the game with a penalty corner. And now England versus New Zealand in this first semi-final, 2-2. Under 10 minutes left to play as Lewis comes in with an important tackle and wins the free hit. Gives up possession there though, carrying it too far. Jenis, the goal scorer, with another snip of a chance there, but Hoare gathers composure and the ball for England. Jackson now. Mantell picks up in the attacking quarter, drives on forward. It was played up into his body. Good defence from Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw read Mantell's run, realised he wasn't going to get out there and just cut his lines and change his angles so that he could make the tackle.
Excellent turn of pace there from Shea McAleese as well over on the right-hand flank. Burrows with the field ball in. And there's another chance now to take the lead. Lifted over Pinner, and New Zealand are ahead. Child with the shot. It's England 2, New Zealand 3.
An immediate response. Child gets it, manages on the backhand to get it through Pinner. We see here, ball comes in, it's a nasty touch and a miss. Child goes through Pinner, he gets a bit of a touch. Finished by Inglis in the middle of the circle.
So yeah, Child's shot, and there's the final deflection from Ingles that takes it goal bound. It was going in anyway, I think, here from this angle. But Ingles just making sure Hoare was there toe-to-toe with him, and New Zealand here could make it 4. Comes across, oh, they just shoot wide. Well, that would have been the icing on the cake for the Black Sticks. Look at the excitement from their fans in the crowd. Loving every minute. England 2, New Zealand 3.
And Pinner given no chance, no time at all to adjust himself mentally to conceding that third goal. Having to get down on his near post, getting just enough of a defensive touch to get the ball clear. Otherwise, that was underneath him and in for a 4th.
Here's that last chance again across the face of goal, and he did get a glove onto it. And I think if that hadn't been the case, then who knows? Inside the post, possibly. Straight back up the other end. England with Middleton. Oh,
On a stroke, it's a penalty stroke.
unbelievable. Straight back up the other end. Middleton, body checked, and England have a penalty stroke to level things.
Well, Middleton's realised as he drives in that he's just checked. And Murray's interpretation is that's a deliberate foul. Murray Grimes saying that's a stroke straight again. But he is saying clearly there, if you want to refer it, you can, but it is my interpretation.
Well, these interpretation ones are tough. New Zealand, though, taking the opportunity to use the video referral. Only 7 minutes left. So what's the question?
And all he's done is he's back inside, which is fine. He's got a stroke, he's trying to play the ball. Okay, that's probably it. I'll ask. Yeah. Okay. You there, Gregory? Yes, Marie, I'm listening. Go ahead. I've blown a penalty stroke. for England. I think the player was running in. The New Zealand player, as far as I can see, come in and turned his body, which I think is intentional to stop the player having a shot. I think blew a penalty stroke. They're saying the player went in unintentionally and turned and didn't do anything. So can you have a look at that? Okay, I'll have a look.
Video umpire will have a look at it, as will we in the slow motion replay. Barry Middleton carrying the ball forward there, dips the shoulder, doesn't allow Middleton the chance to get the shot off. Your interpretation, Mace?
I'd go exactly with Murray Grime there. Bartholomew stepped in. Murray Grime said he's given it because the player turned his back into Middleton and denied him a shooting opportunity. That's a pretty accurate description of that.
I thought it was intentional.
Alright, I have a decision for you.
Okay.
There is no clear reason to change your decision, so therefore keep your decision penalty stroke.
Okay, no worries.
Penalty stroke it is. Ashley Jackson already over the ball. The New Zealand players already gathered in a huddle. It's going to be Jackson versus Manchester in goal for New Zealand. New Zealand, who are up, remember, by 3 goals to 2. They lose their video referral. Jackson to equalise for England.
Well, is Jackson going to go to his favourite spot? His top right, goalkeeper's top left is where he's renowned for going, but has the skill to go anywhere he wants.
This to equalise. Jackson goes low and to the keeper's right. It's England 3, New Zealand 3. Game on. Great composure.
Yeah, Slonsdale, that's hard. That's in and out before Manchester gets that right hand down. That's hit him almost in the back of his glove. It's gone in with such pace.
Well, Ashley Jackson scored twice in the 5-1 victory over New Zealand. He scored again here on 63 minutes to level things up. England 3, New Zealand 3. Oh, what a game. It really has come to life in this second half. There's Martin who brings down the ball, but advantage to the defender. McAleese will have it and New Zealand will have possession.
Yeah, and that's a clearer blow. We were talking about it earlier on. McAleese set, ready to take the overhead. Martin's run across his line and encroached in that 5-metre area.
Tarrant with the first time ball down towards Child, who opened the scoring here on 12 minutes, putting New Zealand ahead before Harry Martin got one back. Sides went in 1-1 at half-time. Then England went ahead, Mark Leghorn on 49 minutes. New Zealand then equalising through Jennis. That ball has come up.
That's up off McAleese. That's got a deflection.
Oh dear. Right into the side of the face there of McAleese. Everyone quick to react. The New Zealand medic heading over pretty pronto.
Yeah, you can see that starting to swell already on the right-hand side of his face. Off Carson, there's the edge. It's a New Zealand stick into a New Zealand player. It's New Zealand who've lifted it. It'll be an England ball.
Yeah, it's off Shaw's stick into the face, the side of McAleese's face there. And just look how quickly that's starting to swell up. Get some ice on that. He's going to have a shiner there in the morning. Crikey.
But it wouldn't surprise me if he's back into play pretty quickly.
Really?
One of their key players. The medic will get some pressure and some ice on that. That won't be considered to be, it hasn't broken skin, won't be perceived to be in the temple or a particularly dangerous area. It wouldn't surprise me to see him come back in.
Oh, what a tough nut. Something out of a Rocky movie there. We'll wait and see if Sylvester Stallone, McAleese is back on. Look at that. Well, that's why they wear gum shields. That's why they wear protective gear. Take your time, Sonny Jim. 5.5 minutes remaining. Sylvester Malone. Not sure I've seen any of his films. Dan Fox over the ball for England. Leaves it for Lewis. England, who trailed by 3 goals to 2 after Hugo Ingles put New Zealand ahead. Ashley Jackson levelling the score from the P spot after Barry Middleton earned the penalty. Now a chance for Mantell to steal the win for England. Onto the reverse stick, tight angle. Gets it back across the face of goal, but no pace on it. Tarrant gathers. Bartholomew.
Yeah. So Mike Mantell had carried that ball in the wrong place. To protect it, he'd taken it outside his left foot while he's running away from goal, and trying to deliver a reverse stick cross from there is nigh on impossible. Could see why Simon Mantell wanted to protect it, but there's no way he was going to get a good shot, a good pass across the pitch.
I think we'll see a winner late on for either of these sides. Here's a chance for England as it comes in towards the D, bobbling around. New Zealand clear their lines, only as far as Henry Weir.
Well, both teams, to answer your question, Mike, both teams know they can score goals. Both teams know they attack well if they get their little pattern play right. So I think they'll be going for it. There's nobody going to sit back and wait for this to go into a penalty shootout.
Well, we're going to see a card here. Is that for Catlin, I think, for deliberately going in there and breaking down the play. Wasn't too cynical, but green card given.
Yeah, I don't think he changed what he was doing to break play down, but he certainly didn't get his stick out of the way and was holding his opponent close.
Burrows able to hit that one in straight to the D just because it was outside the 25. Fox down the right-hand flank looking for Dixon, taken out into touch by Edwards. There's Catlin's green card, 2-minute suspension for him. England down to 10 players for that time, a time they need to control possession, and there's a rather scary ball across the front of Blair Hilton, who then just fishes it out into touch. Just hanging out a little bit of bait for Hilton.
That's right, Lewis. It was more of a gentle played space ball rather than the power we've seen him delivering on his passes so far. And England just need to get their communication right. That'll be the key to them defending here. New Zealand, on the other hand, need to spread the play. They need to go out to one flank, push forward to see if they can get 30 yards away from the England goal, and then transfer through midfield, because it's where England will then struggle to defend the space without a man down.
Foul on Ashley Jackson. Aerial ball forward. Finds Carson. Here's a chance for Carson to win it for England. Off the back foot again. Needed a save from Manchester. Long corner.
Well, I thought Carson had wasted that chance. He took it down well, but then seemed a little ponderous in what he was doing. Didn't get the ball into the forehand shooting position early enough, but somehow managed to get it onto his back foot and crack it to Manchester's goal.
And that reverse stick effort as well, going wide. The follow-up. There's McAleese, who took a deflected ball into the head. He seems okay. He's on his feet, icing that right side of his face now. Nursing an egg of a bruise. Burrows. And to link up with Cousins here. That's a shame. Another wasted chance. Just over 2 minutes left to play. It's England 3, New Zealand 3. England still have their video referral. New Zealand lost theirs, questioning that foul on Barry Middleton. Was it a penalty corner? Was it a stroke? And a stroke it was, and Ashley Jackson converting to draw the sides level. England 3, New Zealand 3. Final few minutes of this game. If it remains a draw, we go to a shootout.
Yeah, and given that Coach Crutchley was asked by Dubai Sen whether he thought about that dreaded shootout at any point, he said he might do with 5 seconds left on the clock. So he's got another 1 minute and 40 seconds till he's got to worry about that.
In the meantime, his side defending like their lives depend on it. Lewis again at the heart of the defence. Haig spins out. Middleton's there to cover, though. Chance probably one apiece in this final few minutes. This is England building up the last of their chances. An aerial ball forward again, testing the defence. There was Catlin, and he was in behind Bartholomew, who missed the trap. Manchester again having to parry this one away with his glove. Catlin with the restart. Earns the free hit. Dixon wants to take it. All the way out and round. Well gathered by Fox. It was a bobbly one. Did well. Paul now in the midfield.
That's a great take from Fox. It was a dreadful ball from Dixon. The last thing you want with a minute to go is a ball smashed back towards you right on the sideline, bobbling horribly.
Child back there normally plays further up the field, one of the forwards, but everyone defending for the Black Sticks. They already have some experience of the shootout. They earned their semi-final berth against England by beating Argentina in a shootout a couple of days ago. So Colin Batch's side look like they're going towards their second shootout in 2 games. England, hopefully they've been practicing theirs. 10 seconds remaining. That into the body of Child will be the last attacking play for England. Count the seconds down. We're going to a shootout. Full-time score here in semi-final 1 in New Delhi is England 3, New Zealand 3. So Bobby Crutchley will look down at his tablet there and choose his 5. And who is going to be in his 5? Well, both sides battled this one out. What a game between the two teams. England, who thumped New Zealand 5-1 in the pool stages. A spirited effort from New Zealand this evening. They came out and they fought hard for the result. They were ahead at one stage by 3-2. Ashley Jackson's penalty stroke bringing things level on 63 minutes. So that's the way it's finished. 3 goals apiece. Now it's time for the shootout. Who will be selected from the New Zealand side? Stay with us to find out. Full-time score here. It's England 3, New Zealand 3. So then the sides, the captains, will go and decide who's going to go first. Barry Middleton there, alongside Dean Cousins, the 2 captains. Cousins who missed a flick against Argentina in regulation time. Blair Hilton, the man that converted 2 from 2 2 days ago against Argentina. So they're there again, deja vu for the Black Sticks. Pinner, what's he doing there, Mace? Goalkeeper looking down at the tablet that's down there on the England bench. Is he looking at the flicks from yesterday?
That's exactly what he'll be doing. All of these teams will have massive video resource of their opponents. They'll have recorded all the shootouts, the opponents they might face at any point during the competition. So yeah, Pinner's just refreshing his knowledge about what he may face. We'll see if he can process that and pick the faces of the players when they come up against him. He knows where their favourite side is and where he can try and force them. But for a big man, it's going to be tough for him. He needs to remain incredibly mobile.
Well, for the Black Sticks, Blair Hilton, Marcus Child, Phil Burrows, Hugo Ingles and Steve Edwards were the penalty takers last time round. It's Edwards, Ingles, Hilton, Child and Burrows again this time round. So exactly the same 5. No surprise?
No, I think you've got a group of players who've gone through the process. They've come out the other side victorious. And whilst there were a couple of misses within that, they know as a group they've practiced it and they can step forward, step up and really take the challenge on the chin.
Manchester in goal as both sides drift towards the right-hand side of the commentary box. We're heading for a shootout and New Zealand will go first. So it's shootout time. England versus New Zealand. 3-3 at full time. And looks as though New Zealand have won the toss and elected to go first here. So Hugo Ingles will line up for the first penalty against George Pinner of England. Tense times for the fans. And back home, no doubt. Whoever you're shouting for, it's going the whole hog. It's going all the way. Whatever you do, don't leave your TV screens the next 7 to 10 minutes or so. We'll have a winner and our first finalist within that time. Just a minute and a bit or so to go. There's the England goalkeeper, George Pinner, man of the match versus Belgium when he put in a sterling performance. Ingles there. Missed his first penalty yesterday against Argentina, but in sudden death scored. Also scored against England last time round in the pool stage. What's his fate tonight? Right, we're ready here. Hopefully you're ready too as England watch on from the bench. It's Ingles against Pinner. Penalty number 1. Pinner smothers it. And the ball goes wide, does it? Or does he creep it in? Pinner not sure here. Definitely wide. Pinner just getting confirmation of that, or was the goal given?
No, Pinner's gone really close. He's done superbly. Oh, look how low he is. He keeps himself mobile, gets a left hand down to that. Ingles goes into side netting, not in the goal. That is wide.
I was looking at Murray Grime, who did the signal back towards the halfway line to give the goal. So their confirmation that Ingles misses the first penalty for New Zealand. Advantage England. Nick Catlin to go first then for England. Devon Manchester in the goal for New Zealand. Catlin then, 8 seconds to try and score. Rounds Manchester. Manchester gets a stick on it, tight angle here and into the sideboards from Catlin.
Well, Manchester has done enough. He has to make Catlin worry. Manchester comes out big, gets mobile, rights the stick covering the right-hand side. Tiny touch on the ball. Catlin unable to get his feet round it to put it into the net.
England 0, New Zealand 0. You're just joining us, what a time. It's the shootout to decide our first finalist to play the Netherlands or Australia. Hilton next, set ready to go for New Zealand. There goes the 8 seconds again. Is he going open stick? No, he goes reverse stick side. Slips back inside Pinner and opens the scoring. There's our first penalty in this shootout. And it's 100% as he bubbles his lips.
Yeah, Hilton does well. Pinner, not bad at all. Slips just slightly unable to get his left hand down. Very nearly gets a stick on it, but not enough.
So scored all 3 of his penalties that he's taken in this tournament so far, Blair Hilton. Now Harry Martin steps up to the plate for England. This to level things. New Zealand currently lead by 1-0. Martin now. Thinks about going, open stick, but that shot is saved. Devon Manchester getting a glove to it. Martin going on the reverse stick side. And advantage New Zealand after 2 penalties. They lead by a 0-0.
Yeah, and a lack of conviction really from Harry Martin on the reverse. Manchester's done well, but there's no real pace on the shot.
Simon Child versus George Pinner. This to make it 2-0 for New Zealand. An edge ever closer to the final of the Hero Hockey World League. Child onto the reverse stick, takes a shot, bounces back over and lobs the keeper, and it goes in! Well on the way to score. Simon Child extending New Zealand's lead here. New Zealand 2, England 0.
And he may well grin. Pinner does well to stand up to the first backhand. Charles puts it in. This ball could go anywhere, but what composure to lob a 6'5" goalkeeper. Brilliant international skills.
Pinner gives way to Manchester. England need to score this to stay in contention. Jackson on the ball for England. Ashley Jackson for England to get one back. Goes reverse stick, pulls it back under the keeper, surely must score, here he does! There's one back. England 1, New Zealand 2.
Yeah, composure from Jackson, just drags Manchester out to the right-hand side off his goal, recognises the keeper commit, runs back round, uses the space, slots it easily.
Steve Edwards to make it 3-1. New Zealand who went first in the shootout. 8 seconds to add that 3rd goal. Here is Edwards driving the D, runs straight at Pinner, takes a deflection this time, it goes over the bar, and Pinner standing his ground. England a chance to level things here now.
Pinner doing well to stay big. Edwards not really with much of a chance from that reverse, doesn't commit Pinner in any way, shape or form.
Tom Carson, 3 goals in the tournament, missed an open goal here tonight. Can he make it up here in the shootout? Let's find out. This to level things. Carson now, head down, onto the reverse stick. Peels inside and under the keeper, it's 2-2! Carson clawing a second back for England.
Well, all the players seeming to do the same thing in the first instance, take it out to the goalkeeper's open stick, then use their speed compared to a player in full pads.
5th and final penalty for New Zealand will be taken by Burrows. Phil Burrows versus George Pinner. Burrows is set. Pinner set away to his right-hand side as we look at it here now. Burrows into the D, goes onto the reverse stick again, doing the same sort of thing and trying to weave away past Pinner. He does! 3-2 New Zealand.
Calm from Burrows, drives it in, goes left, brings it back to the right, but Pinner stays mobile, which is brilliant for a big man, but then doesn't get enough on it on the backhand from Burrows.
Barry Middleton for England. This to take it to sudden death. England must score this penalty. If they don't, New Zealand will go through to the final. It falls to Barry Middleton. He's up against Devon Manchester. Middleton sets off on his 8-second run. This to level things. Under the body, keeper goes down. Middleton scores! 3-all. England 3, New Zealand 3. We're going to sudden death.
Composure from the England captain. I thought he'd taken too long. Doesn't make the goalkeeper move, comes back, manages to get under his feet, doesn't shoot first time. Manchester had it covered, dummy and finish.
So sudden death. New Zealand went first last time round. Now England go first again. They can mix up the order here if they like. 3-3 after the 5 penalties in the shootout. It looks as though Ashley Jackson is wanting to go first for England.
Well, in a penalty shootout, a number of teams would always rather take first. It gives them an advantage. You get a goal on the board, then anything can happen. The pressure just notches up slightly. So I think the mental advantage has probably gone to England just slightly at this time. And if Jackson can score, it will get even higher.
Well, Jackson, who levelled things on 63 minutes to make it 3-3 in full time, sets off in sudden death. Looks to score, he does! Oh, what a flick as well! Took it in 5 yards or so, then flicked it past the right ear of Devon Manchester. England are up in the shootout.
What a finish from Jackson. He sees a space, delivers off his wrists. There's no backswing. Awesome.
Hugo Ingles puts his hand up. Missed last time round, keeping the same order, went first. He'll go first again here now with the ball on the 25. 8 seconds to score past George Pinner. Must score if New Zealand are to go through to the final. If not, England are through. Ingles then to keep New Zealand in it. Wrong foot's Pinner. Can he get past him? Yes, he can. We're still level. It's 4 goals apiece.
Thought for a minute that Pinner had done enough. As it is, Ingles comes in, goes to Pinner's right-hand side. Pinner gets low, comes back round, scrambling. Would probably been penalised for the back stick anyway.
So Middleton, who kept his composure last time round, will aim to give England the lead here and put the pressure back on New Zealand once again. Which way will he go this time? Scored last time. Can he score again? Barry Middleton goes reverse stick this time. Is the time going to run out? Keep an eye on it. Top corner, I think it is. The whistle goes. 8 seconds up. Sticked away by Devon Manchester. Advantage New Zealand.
Yeah, as Middleton drives in, he doesn't really go laterally at all. He lets Manchester get close to him. There's that stick touch. Knocks the ball firmly away. Time runs out for Middleton.
Well, as it was against Argentina, Blair Hilton has the opportunity to put New Zealand through to the final of the Hero Hockey World League. Standing in his way, England goalkeeper George Pinner. Blair Hilton for a place in the final. Pinner putting pressure on him, there's the gap, oh, he misses! Shoots wide. Well, they can't watch, and you're probably in a similar state back home watching this.
They'd gone so wide. Pinner, I felt, had got really close to him and actually fouled. I think that hand in the back. Murray Grime chooses to give the advantage, and to be fair, Hilton had an open goal to aim at and pulls it past the near post.
Carson next up for England. Both sides having scored once and missed once in sudden death. And it really has been a fight to the death, this one, as England watch on. Their teammate Tom Carson to give them a lead in the shootout. Here is Carson, spins out. Which way is he going? Onto the reverse stick. There's the shot into the roof of the net, and England leads through Tom Carson.
Well, Carson, as a youngster, had not given himself any vision. As he drives in here, he goes out to his backhand and turns his back on Manchester. He can't see where he is. Yeah, he comes back well, but I just think he needs to keep his eyes up. Great finish in the end, though.
So it falls to Simon Child to keep his side in this. Child must score against Pinner to give his side any hope. Placing the final up for grabs. Simon Child on target, on run. Will the shot be on target? Oh, lovely bit of skill to take it around and through Pinner in the end. Imaginative stuff. Lobbed the keeper last time round, and that was even better.
That's just exceptional. Showboating, some may call it. The spin, Pinner reads the first half, but then Childs comes back and finishes well.
Jenner's pumped. So, calm descends again here in New Delhi. Nick Catlin over the ball, looking to give England the lead here in sudden death. Round the keeper and hits the backboard. Catlin scores for England. So New Zealand must score the next penalty to stay in contention again. England doing everything they can to keep the pressure on.
Well, Catlin misses his touch here. It goes far too wide. Composure from him to come back into space and finish. Really mature.
Like a good cheese. Steve Edwards over the ball for New Zealand. 2 from 3 for New Zealand so far. Can they make it 3 from 4? This to go through the legs, yeah. Keeper didn't look quite set, didn't look too comfortable, and just drew George Pinner, then threaded it through there, through Mason Alley.
Yeah, that's real composure from a forward to see that space as Pinner steps left. There's the gap. The easiest of finishes, but took a huge amount of courage to do so.
Harry Martin to put England ahead for the 5th time. Martin, who missed his flick last time round. A chance to make amends here then and put England back ahead. He has 8 seconds to score, 25 yards to cover. He doesn't have to take it all. Thinks about taking it forehand. Stays with that. Keeper's gone down. Oh, it's pushed it wide. I think Manchester's got something on this as well. Harry Martin missing 2 from 2. Didn't look comfortable here, not for a second.
And didn't commit to any sort of movement. It was just a little bit pedestrian. There's no real lateral movement. Manchester could stay calm, and in the end, Martin wide on the forehand, not able to finish.
Are we looking at the hero of the night? Phil Burrows will take the last of these sudden death penalties, otherwise we go for another round. Burrows for New Zealand against Pinner of England for a place in the final. Keeper goes down, surely! Burrows has done it! New Zealand are through to the final of the Hero Hockey World League. They've beaten England here in sudden death penalties, winning the shootout. New Zealand through to the final. Well, we had to have 10 penalties to decide a winner in the shootout, but eventually we got there. Phil Burrows, the hero on the night, getting the winning penalty, and everyone going over to console Harry Martin there of England. There are brighter days to come for that young star. But this evening, New Zealand are first winners of the semi-final. They will face either Netherlands or Australia. Here's a look at that last penalty.
And Burrows composed. Pinner swings, gets a little bit carried away, tries to catch Burrows' feet. Would have been a penalty stroke anyway for the foul. One hand, composed finish from Burrows. Knew where he was putting the ball, and his teammates stream on to congratulate him.
They've done it. New Zealand through to the final. of the first ever Hero Hockey World League, and I bet they're going equally crazy back home in New Zealand. Congratulations to them, commiserations to Barry Middleton and the England side. There'll be some disappointed players out there, missed opportunities in open play. Ashley Jackson clawing the side back in to take it to penalties. Harry Martin there, scored on 23 minutes to level things at 1 apiece, but couldn't convert any of his penalties in the shootout. Means England will go down to play for the bronze medal. They'll play the loser of that game between the Netherlands and Australia. Netherlands and Australia both in action next. If you want to stay tuned for that game, then please do stick with us. Love to talk you through that one as well. Catlin, well, he scored one and missed one of the penalties, but the crucial factor was that Burrows was the man of the moment to convert the penalty on the night that sent New Zealand through. We can head down pitch side with this evening's man of the match. No surprise, it's a black stick.
Yes, many congratulations to New Zealand for booking their berth in the final of the Hero Hockey World League. Joining me this evening for the post-match, Hero post-match presentation is Coco Badesky, who's of course FIH representative and also president of the Pan American Hockey Federation. And he'll present the Hero Man of the Match trophy and a check for 25,000 rupees to today's man of the match, Simon Child from New Zealand. Simon, an outstanding performance from your team, from 6-1 in the opening match against Germany, 5-1 against the same opposition that you played today. You must be thrilled to have made it to the final.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we played pretty. It was disappointing the first time we played the English, and credit to them. You know, they're a really good team, but we knew we were better than the 5-1 scoreline. And you know, we're a young team, but we're growing in confidence, and we're getting better and better with every game. So it's a really great result for us.
Well, thanks for the entertainment tonight. All the best for tomorrow.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Simon Child there, our hero man of the match. Oh, what a game. 3-3 after full time. It went to a penalty shootout. A shootout which New Zealand eventually won. There's confirmation of the other day's play as well. Belgium eventually beating Argentina in a shootout. India, a last-minute goal against Germany to beat the defending Olympic champions by 5-4. Finished 3-3 in the first semi-final, but New Zealand through to the final. They will face Netherlands or Australia. Those teams play next. Come back and join us for that one if you like. See you shortly. Well done to the Black Sticks.
Well done, everyone. Good stuff. Very, very short break. Sorry about that.